gentlemen, introducing your host from the birthplace of extreme, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, weighing in at, well, an average weight for a person of his size, Shondell Wilbur.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Very the Brooklyn Podcast, Wrestling Podcast. My name is Dell. Once again, that is Devin. And we have got a lot to get into on this episode of the pod. As we're recording on September 3rd of 2023. And September 2nd of 2023 will go down in infamy for a lot of people, for a lot of different reasons. But before we get into all of that, we actually had a wrestling pay-per-view last night. We had WWE Payback, which I think is this the second PLE that you've watched from WWE? I think the first one was SummerSlam. So we opened the podcast with SummerSlam, which was Devin's jump back into professional wrestling, and he enjoyed himself. And here we are a month or so later, and Payback. So I understand you watched WWE Payback last night. So how did you feel? John Cena returned. We had some title changes. We had some other things going down. What was your initial thoughts on Payback?
A lot of good. Some of this. Let me see. I enjoyed it. It was shorter, like 3 and some change,
which is right down your alley.
That was fine. It was fine. Some stuff hit well with me. Some stuff I was like, didn't care for.
I think I know which one of those segments that you didn't care for.
Second one. Fuck LA Knight. Automatically starting it off. I know Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus was the first cage match.
Yes.
That was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Becky Lynch.
It was a good match. Yeah. It was a good match. I didn't like what she did to Trish's face, but that was a good match.
But yeah, that I like the Miz.
I know you're a Miz guy.
A lot of people don't like him, but they not giving him the shot he needs.
This Miz is gonna be that constant in WWE. Yeah. Miz is that person that you, and in this role too, because we knew feuding with LA Knight. LA Knight's obviously going to get the win here. He's got the up trajectory. Fans are behind him. He's got a lot of steam behind him right now. So I mean, only natural that he's going to get that win here. And I guess adding John Cena in as the special guest referee to further give LA Knight that rub, that that juice, so to speak. I mean, it was
mad
to be
what John
expected.
Cena did, though. Don't shake that man hand. Do I need to put you in the same box as LA Knight, Cena? Do I need to do that? Because I will. I like you. But you're going to be shaking his asshole's hand.
Don't make you not like him, right?
Exactly. Don't do that. There's something about him. Like,
is it the catchphrases? Is it the...
It's everything. The way
it's the whole package. It's just LA Knight as a whole.
The way he come out on stage, all that shit is just... He probably the nicest dude on the planet. Could be the nicest guy.
LA Knight, you just know.
No.
Just 100% off on LA Knight.
Completely. Never will like him. Trash.
And we'll see where he goes.
Yeah, we'll see. People gonna be following this guy.
I mean, his music drops, the crowd...
They go wild.
They do. They do.
I want to go to a show and be ringside for when he comes out. I'm going to turn my back to him. I'm going to turn my back. As soon as he walks in, I want the camera to see it. Me turn my back. Be done. I'm not going to put nothing offensive.
Right. You're just going to turn your back.
Just turn my back.
That says enough.
That's it. You bullshit. And I really am thinking about spending money.
To buy a ticket.
To buy a ticket.
To turn your back on LA Knight.
That's it. I'm going to give you money to disrespect you.
Which is the ultimate disrespect?
Yeah.
All right, so LA Knight aside, of course we're not in on LA Knight here. What about the show? What else stood out about the show?
The Rey Mysterio fight was great.
Okay. Austin Theory and Rey.
I don't have no problem with Austin Theory. I like Rey better.
Yeah.
I'm sick of the Judgment.
Oh, Judgment Day?
I'm tired
This
of it.
was their show.
They got
this
everything.
This was the Judgment Day show here. So
they got everything.
Yes. Yeah, they do.
Well, they walking around with like 7 belts on.
So, big story here. They had the that Pittsburgh street fight with the Judgment Day, which was Damian Priest and Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and the match was good. The match was anything and everything that you would want a street fight to be. So, Kevin Owens did the spot where he jumped off the thing from the, in the audience and everything. Of course, they put on the Pittsburgh Penguins hockey jersey.
And I'm a fan of Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm a fan of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
All right, so that worked out for you. They had the terrible towel. They played it up big time. And, long story short here, the rest of the Judgment Day and extended, because we got J.D. McDonough out there, who absolutely got murdered by Kevin Owens getting slammed on that table. Rhea Ripley was out there, and of course Dominic Mysterio, who his first of his two big spots of the night here, playing up being the MVP of the Judgment Day for the night, actually aids them in defeating Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and becoming the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. So now we have Damian Priest and Finn Balor, Tag Team Champions. Damian Priest is still the Money in the Bank contract holder at the time, and of course, spoiler, later on in the night, Rhea Ripley is still Women's World Champion, and Dominic Mysterio is the NXT North American Champion. So right now, Judgment Day is a very gigantic focal point in WWE. Of course, we got the Bloodline stuff, all of that on SmackDown. Raw is Judgment Day show, and that spills into NXT with Dominic having the NXT North American Championship. So Dominic and Rhea and they're well integrated into NXT as well. So Judgment Day is a big thing. They are a big deal in the company. So there's that. We also had the Grayson Waller effect with Cody Rhodes. It gave Cody something to do. Whatever.
Cody's growing on me.
Okay.
He's growing on me. Just because he looks like Geese Howard. But he's growing on me. I'm starting to tolerate him.
Okay. All right. That's fair. It's a good thing. Cody is doing his job. I guess he's getting, you're winning over on him there. But in this segment, pretty much was just, I don't know how Cody pulled strings, or he said he used his juice to get Jey Uso out of quitting SmackDown and WWE to get him signed to Raw. So now it looks like we're gonna have the Usos, for the time being, completely split, as we have Jey Uso is going to be on Monday Night Raw as a singles wrestler. So there's that.
But my man wasn't right. He ain't won nothing. He got kicked in the face for saying shit like that, but Uso hasn't won. He done nothing.
I mean, ever since losing the tag team titles at WrestleMania to Sammy and Kevin, that's been about it. You know, they've been integrated in the whole Bloodline storyline and button heads with Roman, and then ultimately him and his twin brother Jimmy detaching from the Bloodline and then feuding with Roman, and then Jimmy turns on Jay. It's still a ball of...
Everybody who I've talked to, they love the Bloodline storyline.
Yeah, it's still going. It's been years.
People are like, this is the best one ever. This is the best. Like, all right.
There's been a time. Right now, it's starting to show its signs of running its course. Mm-hmm. At least to me, in my opinion. There's only so many things that you can continue to do with this storyline. I feel like the plan is to have Roman ultimately drop the championship at next year's WrestleMania 40. If that's the plan, you do gotta dilute this thing a lot. You gotta stretch it out a lot in order to be able to cover those months. That's in April, where we just hit September. So if that's the plan, I'm not sure. You know, because I'm not. You know, I don't know. But if they're looking to maybe end everything as a whole in terms of Roman's title reign, by then you do got some ground to cover. So you got
7 months,
right? To stretch this thing still. So it's like, where else could you really go with it? I mean, there are other members of the Bloodline who are not in WWE, or, you know, whatever, they could potential. Who knows?
I need to see some more backstabbing, two-facedness. I get y'all got drama, but I need to see some more people get involved with this drama. I need
more of the family.
Yeah, I need to see some more family flipped. You know, I just need more. Like, I haven't been watching it that long, and I'm already bored with it.
Right. Yeah. And then, like I said, all this stuff really happened still during the COVID era. Mm-hmm. Really is when, you know, this thing started and gained its legs, and we're still running with it. Yeah, I mean, it's got plenty of time. Same thing with Jimmy and Jay. I don't know. Ultimately, we know there's going to be a match between Jimmy versus Jay. When they decide to do that, who knows? Are they going to start getting the ball rolling on that storyline tomorrow on Raw? When? Who knows? But that's one of those matches that, you know, that's a big match. That's a brother versus brother, and especially, you know, as big as this Bloodline storyline has been, those two characters are big deals in WWE. So that's a big money match. That's a match you would put on a show like, let's say, maybe a WrestleMania. But if you wait for that, you gotta again, we're the same thing. But I mean, you could put that match on Survivor Series. You could put it at Royal Rumble, which is in November and January respectively, or you could do it at the next pay-per-view. Who knows?
I needed to be Anywhere Falls.
Something along the lines of like a street fight.
Yeah, I need something wild. I don't need them staying in the ring. I need this to spill out. I need some tables. I need some chairs. I'm gonna need some pipes. Something.
Okay.
Barbed wire. I need y'all to mess each other up.
Oh, they could. You know, it'd be cool if they did like a first blood match, like first bloodline match or something like that. It would be, you know, whoever draws blood first, you know, with the whole bloodline thing. But I don't think WWE's doing too much of that stuff anymore anyway. But hey, who knows?
Yeah, you never know. You
never know. So we got Jimmy. We'll see, like I said, on SmackDown, we'll see if any of that stuff starts to, who knows. But right now we got Jay SmackDown, we got Jay on Raw, Jimmy on SmackDown. who knows from there. We had some things on Payback, but I want to talk about the match that you were a couple podcasts ago said you were invested in the storyline of talk about Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship match.
Rhea played around. She won.
Yes. Yeah.
I think she played around too much.
Yeah. The beginning of it was, played up Rhea's dominance. And, she took Raquel out of the match, like, completely for a very good portion of the beginning of the match.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought Rodriguez was going to win. Something just sit. Like, she came in with the swagger, like, you can't do shit to me, you this little ass girl type, to Rhea. And then everything started changing. Yeah,
listen, Rhea's not the same one that, that she fought before in NXT, so this is a completely different person, different persona, different, she's got different momentum. She's,
She a good wrestler. I just don't like when she talks.
Okay.
Rhea's a great wrestler. I enjoy watching her perform. But when she opened her mouth, I'm like, no, sweetheart.
No?
Don't do that.
I think she's a good talker. She's a good talker.
I don't know.
It fits,
something about it don't fit right.
Her characteristics fit, the character, and currently being right now the glue that holds the Judgment Day together is Rhea. But again,
she came out in that China outfit.
Again, Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah.
MVP performance of the night, helping to aid Rhea retain the championship. Like I said, it was a good match. It was a good match. They had, Rhea's dominance, and then Raquel rallied back a little bit. Then they had some of the back and forth, and ultimately numbers game. You got Dominic in there, and you get shenanigans, and you get Rhea retaining the championship there.
I want to know who's gonna get that. How long she's gonna hold that title?
Gosh, man. I mean, right now you kind of gotta. It's gonna be a while. I would think. I mean, you just did this whole thing where the Judgment Day's collecting these titles, so they got all this right now. So I think they hold the titles for a minute. Don't know how long, but I think what ultimately might destroy the Judgment Day is maybe they might do a thing where they start losing the titles. Maybe Finn and Damian have a match. They lose the tag team titles. Then Dominic has a match. He might lose the North American Championship. Then the cracks start forming because, they've done all this and now they're starting to lose. I mean, who knows? Who knows where they go with it? Who knows where they go with that? But Damian Priest still has that Money in the Bank for a world title shot, which brings me to the World Championship match, the main event between Shinsuke and Seth Rollins. Shinsuke's intro, that anime intro thing, that was dope.
That was dope. It really was. Yeah.
How'd you like this match?
I was expecting more.
Okay.
For a 26-minute match.
Okay.
I was expecting a little more skeptical, high-flying.
Well, Shinsuke's not gonna give you any high-flying.
Especially when you got a mouth guard in.
Yeah, he's going to strike you.
Yeah, the funniest part was when he started rubbing his back.
Yes.
I was cracking up. I'm like, wow. And first off, let's Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Let's understand this. You don't have fractures in your back. Stop playing it up like this. Cut that shit out. Because first, you talking to somebody who knows fractures. Right. I've studied the body. you got fractures or dislocations of the thoracic or lumbar spine. You don't have that because you wouldn't be doing this.
Right. But that's the story of this. That was the ultimate story of this match was you had Shinsuke targeting the back. Most of the damage was towards the back and Seth fighting underneath. They wanted to really give you that doubt that, maybe Seth loses this match here. I would have loved for Shinsuke to win, but I never in my mind thought that we were going to get to Shinsuke winning the championship here. The match was still good. Shinsuke will always give you a good match. Seth will always give you a good match. I felt like the chemistry and storytelling were good in this.
Yeah.
Like I said, there wasn't a point where I thought, maybe they might go Shinsuke.
I never thought that either.
Right.
I felt as though Rollins was going to pull away. Like you said, I would have liked Shinsuke to pull through.
Yeah.
But I just got tired of hearing about that back.
Yeah, that's they wanted to give you that doubt, but ultimately,
smart people wouldn't have doubts.
It's wrestling. This is what they do. This is what you got to do. You got to sell the story.
Spinal fracture takes 6 to 12 weeks to heal. I may have been talking about this shit for like 4 years.
It's wrestling.
Crying over a herniated disc.
But after Seth Rollins wins this, we did not get a tease for a cash-in or anything like that, which, Judgment Day was very busy in the night, which could have possibly made them busier, because I was thinking, I'm like, well, they've been collecting titles, and then they sat on Seth in the ring being down and out and beaten and just barely beating Shinsuke in the match.
That's time to cash in.
Right, and I kind of, which was if that was the plan to make it think that was going to happen, but maybe it was just me being like, maybe this could be a good time for a cash-in. Champion's clearly vulnerable at this point. But we didn't get that. However, what we did get after the show went off the air was that Shinsuke did attack Seth afterwards. So I'm pretty sure they're going to maybe continue this story. They might talk about that attack after the show on Raw on Monday. And we'll see what happens. Maybe this storyline continues. Maybe they'll, Shinsuke still in the title hunt, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with Shinsuke Nakamura being a focal point of Monday Night Raw, because I think he's one of those guys that could do it, and I think generally fans want to see in that position. So,
okay,
we'll see. Yeah. So that's that was WWE Payback in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Other things happened yesterday as well. They had another professional wrestling show, which was AEW Collision. Now, before AEW Collision took air, word came out through all of the wrestling news sources. You had Fightful. Everyone was reporting that CM Punk was terminated by AEW, stemming from the issues from All In Wembley last week.
He ain't do nothing wrong.
So all of this just snowballed, and report after report after report came out, and it became very clear very early that this was not a work. This was not anything that had, that was a part of a story. This was a real thing that happened, and to the point where when Collision opened up last night from Chicago, by the way, it was opened with a video from Tony Khan announcing as such, and he addressed the crowd before the show went on the air. Was met with a lot of boos, some cheering, some boos. Then ultimately, after he said the things that he said, people got to wrestling, and just quick, he stated that CM Punk was fired with cause, stemming from the investigation that took place regarding the backstage incident, which I called. Remember when we watched, Devin and I watched 0 Hour together before the pay-per-view, and as soon as Jack Perry said the real glass thing, I was like, that's gonna be something. I just knew it. I just I knew it. I just knew it. And it turned out to be something.
Oh, yeah.
It turned out to be something. Turned into a physical altercation backstage between Jack Perry and CM Punk. Several reports came out about, other issues with Punk and Tony Khan himself. And Tony Khan pretty much said, he never has he, feared for his safety or the safety of other people and things like that backstage. And ultimately he had to make the decision.
Come on.
So CM Punk is no more in AEW.
All CM Punk did was went out there, he punched a young kid in the face and tried to choke him up. I get that. But the other boy talking about you scared, man up. Did he punch you? Did he choke you out? Do you feel unsafe? Oh, I'm done.
At the end of the day,
Collision is done.
That's a big thing. Where does Collision go from here? But I mean, at the end of the day, was it a lot of Jack Perry poking the bear? Yes, 100%. Did he know or feel that there could be the reaction and this could snowball into something? Who knows? Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. However, the things happened. Punk reacted, and it got bad.
He reacted like he should have. He reacted, you got this Harry Potter looking guy talking to you, Jack. What type of name is Jack? Stirring, like you said, stirring the pot, starting shit, making comments, and you expect CM Punk, like, you know who he is. Yeah. You followed him. This ain't the first person he been pissed off.
And it's not the first incident that we've had.
Yeah.
I mean, last year, it was well documented because that, turned into this, essentially with the fight with the Elite last year. So, I mean, Punk comes back, Collision happens, Punk has a lot of pull and say in Collision, and that whole butting of the heads with Jack Perry and Punk over the glass incident and spinning into this. It's a mess. It turned into a mess, and who knows all of what happened between Punk and Tony Khan. I mean, at the end of the day, if he did other things other than what was initially reported with, like, maybe Punk lunged at Tony or whatever the case may be, at the end of the day, that's...
You got lunged at.
At the end of the day, that's... Tony Khan is the boss. Tony Khan is it in AEW. There is no higher position than Tony Khan. So, I mean...
So his feelings was hurt.
And I mean, business-wise, they clearly brought him back after the other incident. Maybe his hands were tied here at this point. He said, people backstage that had nothing to do with the incident, they were fearful, or who knows? Who knows? Maybe, who knows what happened? I wasn't there.
Release the tapes. There's cameras everywhere.
Yes, and that was
release the tapes.
Yeah. So, and based off of that, them saying they have, footage of all of that, which is why the decision was unanimous that Punk had to go.
Where's the footage? Where's the footage? I'm on CM Punk side. I ain't seen no footage. I ain't do nothing wrong. Like, you just butthurt. That's what I'm feeling. They just wanted the man out of there because he had so much control. He was running Collision.
On the other side of it, who knows if Punk's okay with being let go at this point?
I don't know if his contract allows him to jump ship and go do something else.
I mean, where is he going though?
Nowhere.
He's got no good.
Don't want him.
Yeah, he's got no good relationship over there.
You know, WWE.
Not with the people who matter over there, really.
Start your own.
And then you know, I don't know. Like you said about Collision is so much of it. You know, CM Punk did have creative control over. There's certain people that were signed to Collision that may not necessarily have had the best or relationships with the other side of the equation, the people who with the elite and, you know, all of that. I don't know.
I heard, I think it was, I can't remember the guy's name. He said the possibility of, you know, Collision and all them being just a mixed roster,
which is fine. However, at this point, Collision. I liked Collision. The CM Punk stuff aside, I did enjoy it because I was seeing wrestlers that I haven't seen in a while do things like you got House of Black every week, essentially there. Miro's on TV. Powerhouse Hobbs is doing stuff on TV. You know, people you could see every week. I don't know. You do have extra hours, so Collision is a show where you can still feature more people because you have another 2-hour show. You got a gigantic roster, so people that you don't see on Wednesdays, you can still see on Saturdays. Mixed bunch now, maybe people who are okay with working together, just not okay working on the show that CM Punk had someone on. And the other people on Wednesday, like, well, I don't want to go over there and work with that person because Punk likes that person and that person's over on that show. Now that that's gone, maybe they're more willing to go over there and work with someone or vice versa, whatever happens with that. But I just hope we continue to get people on TV that should be on TV because for a while... And still, AEW has so many people. There's so many people on the roster. And it's... you just won't see people for months and months at a time. You're like, what the hell ever happened to such and such? Oh, well, you know, it's only so many hours on TV. You do have 2 hours of Collision on Saturday. And now you... don't have CM Punk as the focal point, so there are more minutes in the show that you would need to fill up, and you can put other people in that position. But with that being said, it's a Saturday night show, and ratings are not gonna be good for a Saturday night show. It's just a doom spot to be in, and CM Punk, not saying he was moving crazy needles, but he was a big reason they had the viewers that they had is because you could see CM Punk on TV. So what might be a really low number for people watching on a Saturday night when they would rather be out whatever, people are watching because they want to see CM Punk, want to see what he does, want to see what he says. you take that out of the equation, who knows what's going to happen in terms of ratings? Who knows what's going to happen in terms of how Warner Brothers Discovery views this? Who knows?
Yeah, we gotta sit back and see.
Time will tell. Time will tell how this gets viewed, and how everything shakes out. We do have, speaking of Chicago, and speaking of shows, and speaking of cards, and speaking of people that we don't normally see on TV, we get the hodgepodge of a show that is AEW's All Out tonight. As we record this again, we're recording on September the 3rd, and this is the second of the 2-week pay-per-views. We had All In Wembley last week, which I enjoyed. All In was a good show. Was a really, really good show. And we have All Out, which is not as good of a show at all, and you're asking for $50 more for me for this show.
Yeah, it's a big commitment, Yeah,
it's a big commitment for a show that has. Let's break down this card here for All Out, and let's just find out if we think this is worth it. And let's talk about the 0 Hour first. So 0 Hour, we have a women's trios match, which has Athena, Mercedes Martinez, and Diamante from Ring of Honor. We're going to see a lot of Ring of Honor people tonight, which it could have turned into a Ring of Honor show, but I don't know how many people are watching Ring of Honor and are ordering the Ring of Honor pay-per-views. I don't know, but these people could have had more exposure maybe in Wembley. I don't know. And these are 6 females that weren't featured last week at All In, and again, we'll drive the point home that we need more of the women's division in AEW. We need more of them in the forefront, and we have them on the 0 Hour here. But Athena, Mercedes Martinez, and Diamante, they will take on Willow Nightingale, Sky Blue, and Hikaru Shida, who was in the match at Wembley defending the AEW Women's World Championship. She's now in a trios match thrown together in just a nothing trios women's match. Former champion.
I'm looking at it now.
Defending the championship in Wembley. Now she's just a member of a trios match.
This is
for free. She's not on the main card.
Yeah, you on a pre-show.
Yeah.
Why would you waste this on a pre-show?
I mean, something to be said about maybe because internally. No, I'm sure they didn't think this far ahead. This is just me playing devil's advocate. Internally, many people may think that you're not going to get as many buys as you're going to get that you got for All In, for All Out. You could feature the women for free and give them exposure. However, I don't think this is how this was thought out. I think they just threw some shit at the wall.
Yeah.
Because a lot of this on the card was them throwing some shit at the wall. We also have on the pre-show the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass will defend the Trios Championships against Satnam Singh, Jay Lethal, and Jeff Jarrett. Mind you, Dennis Rodman is going to be in the corner of the Acclaimed and
I saw that. I saw that. What the?
I mean, they're playing back to uh, Dennis Rodman was a member of the NWO. Remember that? And of course, they're in Chicago, and they made a whole bunch of connections that way. But whatever.
Once again, this shouldn't be in a pre-show.
It's a title match, trios championship match.
Like,
I could have seen that on the main show.
Like you wasting Billy Gunn on a pre-show?
The Acclaimed is a huge act.
Like,
The Acclaimed is a huge act. People love Billy Gunn and Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. They love them. So I could see them being a part of, selling a pay-per-view, not the pre-show. But
you're basically just credits. That's what you are. You're opening credits before the title card, like the title screen, like your warm-up act. 2 matches that are probably going to be unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
You wasting.
I mean, and you got some talent in these 2 matches that I named. Athena, you got Mercedes Martinez, Hikaru Shida, like I said, was just former AEW Women's World Champion. You got the Acclaimed Billy Gunn, Jay Lethal, who is not doing anything that Jay Lethal could do. I wanted so much more from Jay Lethal when he got signed to AEW many, many moons ago, and he is just doing this shit. We'll jump into the main card we have, which would be a strap match between Absolute Ricky Starks and the returning Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson was the surprise here. Initially, Ricky Starks was set to wrestle CM Punk for the World Championship. Clearly, that's not happening. Clearly, that stuff fell through. You got Bryan Danielson back, who's back off of the arm injury from Okada from a Forbidden Door. I don't feel it because you just gave me this match last night, and you want me to look forward to it tonight. There's no connection with this match other than seeing Bryan Danielson back, which is always a good thing. Bryan Danielson in a professional wrestling ring is always money. But when you got Ricky Starks, who they were trying to build some momentum with his rivalry with CM Punk, there's no momentum here anymore for Ricky. And there's no conflict. Right. And there's no conflict between him and Danielson. So it's just a strap match. Of course, they had the whole thing with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and him whipping Steamboat, and everyone was thinking, well, maybe he's challenging Ricky Steamboat to the match, and they did this whole thing where Steamboat came out with the contract on Collision and says, well, you got a match with the Dragon, but that Dragon turned out to be the American Dragon, which is Danielson, and we get this match. Whatever. Next up, we have Eddie Kingston and Shibata versus Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta in a tag team match. Claudio is the Ring of Honor World Champion. We have Ring of Honor champions on this show anyway. We could have done Claudio versus Eddie Kingston, which is the match here. That's the rivalry. We could have done a one-on-one match and we didn't need this tag match. I mean, is the match going to be good? Yes. Wheeler Yuta is awesome. It's never a bad time seeing Shibata. You're going to get a heavy Eddie Kingston Claudio in this match, but I feel like it would have been better if we had the Ring of Honor title on the line in this one. We don't have many titles on the line of merit in this show. You could make the argument for how important the Ring of Honor World title is, but it's a world title nonetheless, and Claudio is an awesome professional wrestler. And I think it would have just benefited being a one-on-one match here. But hey, who the hell am I? We have Powerhouse Hobbs and Miro.
Now, I'm liking Hobbs.
Yes, I really enjoy. I
really
enjoy Powerhouse Hobbs. I do. I'm
liking that.
Yeah. Hobbs and Miro. I would like to see this match, but it's not a selling point. It's nothing. So far with these matches, like I said, I would love to see Bryan Danielson in the match. I don't care about this match with Ricky Starks. There's nothing for me to care about here.
Yeah.
Kingston and Shibata, Claudio and Wheeler. I would have cared more if it was Claudio versus Eddie. One-on-one match. That's the rivalry there. That would have been more of a selling point for me. Hobbs and Miro, I want to see this match. It's not going to sell a pay-per-view for me though. Two big dudes, hard hitting. It's going to be.
I'll catch it Monday.
It's going to be a fight,
Yeah.
and if it had more build, they've built to it a little bit, but if they had more build to it and more time with it, maybe it could have turned into something that I would have liked to see more. You have the TNT Championship match. You have Luchasaurus versus Darby Allin, and there's been a lot of build for this one. I'll give them that. But most of the build has been through Christian Cage, who thinks he's the world champion, the TNT champion. But Luchasaurus is the actual champion. And Lucha versus Darby, you're going to see Darby Allin get thrown around a lot, because that's what happens.
Cage is an interesting guy.
Yeah, Christian's.
I think the last one I watched, he's talking about my man whose dad died.
Yo, Nick Wayne. Yeah.
Yeah, then I had to wait, who's his dad? So I Googled who his dad was. I'm like, yo, his dad is really dead.
Yeah.
And you talking.
Yeah. Last night on Collision, he was talking about trying to slide into Nick Wayne's mom's DMs because he realized she was in the crowd. When he said all that, Nick Wayne's mom was in the front row.
I'm not mad at him.
Hey, listen, Christian is just a diabolical character, which is awesome. But we have that match. We have for the TBS Championship, we have Chris Statlander versus Ruby Soho. It's fine. It'll be a match. I feel like we could have put that match on All In last week as well, just to give more focus on the women, have the women, featured more. We have on the main show, we have just one female match in a card of a bunch of males matches. Same thing like last week. But it's a title match nonetheless. We
need to bring back Glow. We gotta bring back Glow.
We need to integrate more stardom in the world.
This is not worth $50.
And I'm not done yet. So again, yes. Do I want to see Darby Allin and Luchasaurus for the TNT Championship? I could see that on an episode of Dynamite. So or Collision. It feels it's more of a TV match to me. The rivalry here would have been Christian versus Darby, or Christian's the talker here, so Christian's is the star here. Luchasaurus is the background, but the thing is, Luchasaurus is actually the champion. So I see what part of the story they're playing there. I get it, but for this, next up we have the team of Better Than You, Baby. Adam Cole and MJF are defending their Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships against John Silver and Alex Reynolds of the Dark Order. This is a Ring of Honor Tag Team match on a huge show that AEW runs every year in Chicago, and you have the World Heavyweight Champion of your company defending the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles on your main card against the Dark Order. Not selling it for me. Not selling it for me. Even with the promise of an angle, maybe something happens between Adam Cole and MJF during this match. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe they just defend the titles and they continue on their merry way, and whatever happens down the line happens. However, on paper, this ain't selling it for me. Adam Cole and MJF defending the titles against Reynolds and Silver is not selling a pay-per-view for me. You got the Ring of Honor World Champion who's not defending, the AEW World Champion who's not defending the AEW Championship on a pay-per-view.
Not worth it.
I don't care. Again, this match could have been on Dynamite or Collision. A match that I kind of do want to see, but people who don't watch Ring of Honor would have no idea what the hell's going on here. Samoa Joe versus Shane Taylor for the Ring of Honor TV title. So there's a lot of Ring of Honor matches on this show, on AEW's show, which is part of the problem with Tony Khan owning both Ring of Honor and AEW. You get a lot of this mixing, but for an AEW pay-per-view, I want to see more AEW titles on the line. I don't want to see the Ring of Honor titles on the line, because if I'm a consumer of AEW, I want to order AEW All Out. I don't know who the hell these Ring of Honor guys are. I'm just regular people. Majority of people would know, because, AEW's fan base are people who watch a lot of pro wrestling. So I get that. Yeah. But for you're looking at this card, you're like, who the hell's that? 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 Why would you buy this? Why would you spend $50 on this show?
I don't think I've ever seen Ring of Honor.
Exactly. So you wouldn't know what's going on. You wouldn't know how awesome Shane Taylor is. You wouldn't know how awesome Shane Taylor versus Samoa Joe could be tonight.
Now, I know who Samoa Joe is.
Yeah. So Shane Taylor's awesome. This match should be good. But is it going to sell you the show? You don't know who Shane Taylor is. You haven't watched Ring of Honor.
No.
You know the AEW product. You know you would want to order an AEW pay-per-view. But what about this? The match that I would really want to see, the match that I wanted to see last week at Wembley, and I thought I was going to get it, but we got the 6-man instead, which is fine. But Takeshita versus Kenny Omega. This is the match that I want to see. This is a match that would sell a pay-per-view for me. If there were other things on the pay-per-view that would excite me.
Yeah, that'd be worth it.
Right. I'm like, oh man, we would get... So, Eddie Kingston and Claudio one-on-one. Yeah. Cool. You sprinkle in Samoa Joe and Shane Taylor. Okay, cool. You give me Takeshita and Kenny Omega. Now we got a card. Now we got something, put in MJF, maybe defending the title there. Maybe, we get something else here. The AEW women's match. Maybe Saraya wrestles, defends the championship, along with the TNT title, TBS title on the line with Chris Statlander. We got more work in here. I'm a little more excited, but we have these other people in these other matches that I don't give a shit about.
These guys.
Yeah.
I know both these guys.
Yeah. This match is going to be awesome. That match is going to be awesome. I freaking love Takeshita. He's amazing. And Omega he's just going to get up for this match. It's just what he does. So this match, I'm not going to hate this match. It's going to be amazing. That would be the match.
Gosh.
And then you have an 8-man match between FTR and the Young Bucks teaming up. Oh, that's going to be awkward now with the whole CM Punk thing. But I mean, it was awkward to begin with. However, now it's way more awkward. But what they showed in a very brief thing on Dynamite on Wednesday was FTR approached the Young Bucks after their match at Wembley. You remember the handshake that they blew off. They go, hey, we offered you respect. Like, what's up? And the Young Bucks just pretty much said, it's the heat of the moment. Sorry, we were in the moment. Yeah. And then enter Jay White, Juice Robinson, and the Guns, Colton and Austin. And they exchange words, and they're like, hey, how about us four wrestle you four at the pay-per-view? I'm like, what?
Just
random.
Make any
sense.
Just random.
It's random as hell. Real random. And then so we got an 8-man on the show. Again, this could be a main event on like Collision or anything. Oh, Collision is also safe for the Young Bucks now because last night after the CM Punk firing, that Young Bucks showed up on Collision to help FTR. So the door just opened just like that, and they were on the show like immediately. But looking at this card, like I said, our main event is, again, this sprinkled in with the Omega and Takeshita and Samoa Joe, Shane Taylor. Maybe if we switched a couple of people around in other matches, gave them singles matches instead of tag team matches that you just throw them together. Jon Moxley and Orange Cassidy for the International Championship is going to main event the show. They've been playing this one up for a few weeks, which is okay. This match is fine. I'm okay with it. You got Orange Cassidy and Moxley. I predict this to be the end of Orange Cassidy's championship reign, and Jon Moxley wins the International Championship tonight. I mean, you got to give us something. This card is, for all intents and purposes, this card's lacking.
A lot.
It is. It's lacking a lot.
Yeah.
You're giving me not a lot to look forward to here. You got people on the show, yeah, but they're involved in matches that I don't give a shit.
They're all just thrown together. There's nothing.
And you have story in some of these matches. You do, but adding them in multi-man matches and things like that, I don't care.
Well, you're gonna get an over-the-budget charity battle royale.
You're gonna get that too.
You're gonna get that.
That's
$50,000 to your charity of
That's,
your choice.
I mean, which is fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. I don't hate that. I'm never
something
gonna
for the
hate
kids.
that. Yeah, I'm never gonna hate that, and that's always a good thing. And listen, I've never been disappointed in the performance of anyone in the AEW pay-per-view. So the matches are going to be fine. They are. It's not going to be a shitty wrestling show. However, how we get to these matches, or how these matches has just been randomly thrown together, takes you out of wanting to spend your money to see the results of these matches. Again, this would be a great episode of something on TV. Like I've already spent $50 on a great wrestling show that had a lot of other stuff going on, give or take, with All In at Wembley. This All Out show would have been really good on TBS or TNT. And I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. We'll see what life is like next week in AEW after this CM Punk thing clears up. After we're gonna get our first full episode of Collision that's not setting up for All Out and things like that post Punk. So it literally just dropped right hours before the other Collision went on air. So we're going to have a week removed, and we'll see where we're at then.
They're going to do a revamp pretty much everything. Got to restructure.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And
call it the Young Buck Show.
Who knows? Who knows where we go from here? But we will be there on the other side of it, and we will be talking about it on our next episode of the Bury the Booking podcast. That's going to do it for us this episode. I want to thank you for listening to the Bury the Booking podcast. Please consume it wherever you like to listen. We're on YouTube to watch for your viewing pleasure. And just like, subscribe, share, and stay tuned for more, because I guarantee you it's never a dull moment here. So, laters.